Hello, this is Robert Rodriguez, and you're watching the 10-Minute Film School for Planet Terror. And I wanted to show some of the tricks on the planning and the efficiency that needed to take place, because I had to save a lot of money on this movie, cut a lot of corners, so that there would be money left for Quentin to shoot his half of the movie.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Good job.
One of the main things people want to know is, how did you do the machine gun leg? I did a test early on. I cut my pants off at a certain point, put an ace bandage around it, and then put a green sock over and just went out into my parking lot. We did a test where I put the gun leg on, and it looked really freaky. I thought, this is a great low-budget look, where it's not a high-tech leg, it's just a bandage and a gun jammed in it. What I did was I locked my leg in place and just kind of walked around like that, but we would need something sturdier, keep her knee from bending so that the gun wouldn't be flopping around. So we built a cast around her leg, and we kind of changed the method. Sometimes it would be a gray cast, sometimes it would be a green cast, sometimes it would be just a gray sock. Mainly restricted her movements because her gun wouldn't be able to bend at the knee or the ankle. So we'd make something that would hold her knee and her ankle rigid. And that's how we got the gun or the table leg to be able to match up. So what we do is film her with this cast, and then so for a shot like this, we would film the explosion of the truck and then leave the cameras in the same position, bring Rose in using lights to simulate the fire, and then we would just composite it together. So that is actually her rolling away from the fiery truck. It's just done a few minutes apart. Sometimes for a complicated sequence, I would go ahead and do an animatic. Have my guys there, Troublemaker Digital. This is a Chris Olivia special right here. So we could figure out what kind of rigs we would need. For this shot, I wanted to have the real actors come out on the motorcycle, spin around while she fires. It was important to see them do it, not stunt double, so we built a track, which we would later erase, and then have the actors come out full speed, spin them around, and then I would just have her aim her leg. We would get some reference of a real gun firing, so that when we did the CG gun, we could match the look of what a real gun would look like. The other effect people want to know about is the aging effect, which is really just a series of layers of real film print damage, artifacts, dust passes, scratches, and we're using different brightness levels. Another just trickery to keep it looking random so it doesn't feel like you're watching the same effect over and over. That was the main challenge. I would also use the aging for dramatic effects. I mean, if you notice, whenever a scare sequence is coming up or an action sequence, you notice that the film gets more deteriorated. And then once the threat disappears, so miraculously do a lot of the scratches. So it's kind of a visual cue that something's going to happen, is that everything gets more deteriorated. In one instance, the MPAA wanted us to cut down a scene where someone's brains was getting eaten because it was getting munched on for a little bit too long. And I cut it down and added a lot of aging, and it actually made it feel much more violent. Look at this sequence on the road, where Ray's firing his gun and they're running over sickos. Clean, it looks fine, but once you add the skipping and the jumping and the deterioration of an old print, it feels twice as fast, twice as violent. It just roughs it up a lot. There's something that happens to old prints where they turn this magenta color. So I thought it'd be nice in this scene where Quentin's character is becoming more threatening, that you would have this wash of red go across him and sort of fade the print out. So subtle effects like that, and not so subtle effects like when the doctors say they had to cut a guy's dick off, they do this chopping motion and add a splice right there. Add a splice anytime that anyone did a chopping motion or a punching motion. Also for the scene where Bruce Willis turns into a creature, as he starts deteriorating, the film goes too. This movie ended up having about 450 special effects. They're kind of invisible effects, ones that you don't really notice right off. For this shot, we made an animatic to show our physical effects guys to figure out how to rig the car to implode. Then once we had the implosion, we strung up a stuntman and threw him into it. And then by compositing the two together, we made it look like he hit. For when Fergie has a hole in her head, we just turned her real head and then put a dummy down that had a missing brain and turned that. And then we lined that up later and blend it as a digital effect. Again, because rather than make the whole out of CG, better to have a real object there. Even as a reference, sometimes even as a reference, it's better than nothing to have a real object there. As we did here with Bruce Willis, we'd put these sores on his face, just a couple so it wouldn't take very long. Just so later the effects guys would have a reference of what this looks like on his face in this light, so they could add to it and make it move and have it look like it's really there.
Get a load of that
We
shit.
put on a makeup effects but couldn't really dig into his arm as deep as we'd want to go, so as an effect we add the depth and the darkness to make it look like there's a deeper wound there. And sometimes they're just stylized effects. Like look at how the blood hits the lens over here on the left side of the screen and starts dripping down. I saw this in the edit room and thought it would be fun that as each person gets shot, they splatter the lens a little bit more until it almost covers the lens completely. For this stunt, I wanted to crash out of the window and fall into some trash cans. But it's too high of a jump for her to be able to do that, so I picked my angle, had her do the first jump into a safe pad, set up some scaffolding, have her do a shorter fall into the trash cans, and then I'm going to blend the two together. And to help cover it, I decided to have a car pass by on the switch. Sometimes you're in the edit room and you see something like that. See how this guy just kind of reaches for her way too late, and it kind of ruins the shot. And you look at it and you look at it and you go, God, if only he'd been a little faster and got a little closer to her. So maybe if I just take his head off with a computer, that'll work. Then it'll look funny. So he kind of goes, and then his head pops like a pimple. Sometimes it was adding things like we built a partial helicopter, again as reference, and then the effect would be to finish the helicopter, add propellers, and add a second helicopter. Adding the needle to fly and then having it hit his eye. Again, you already have the needle in his eye, so you have a good reference. You know, we all love that movie, The Thing, and wanted to do a sequence where we got to do some of that puppetry and sleight of hand to make an effect work. So this is actually, okay, you have to look at this close. This is a guy wearing, okay, I'm getting mixed up myself. Okay, the guy in green right there behind the creature has his legs made up to look like the creature, and in front of him is a dummy that the second guy behind him on top is pushing a tube down to make that thing come out of its mouth. So it's two guys and one partial dummy. And then this is a classic sort of thing like a reverse trick where we already had all the tubes and the intestines already laying there, and then we just pull it all back in and I zoom in on it. So then I play it in reverse and it looks like the camera zooms back as the tubes spread out. This kind of effect, he's standing there and I have him just react, and then he steps aside, we put in the dummy and we blow up the dummy, and then as a compositing effect we just composite the two together later in the computer. Again, small enhancements, like he fires, we have the explosion go off, but we add the smoke trail to the rocket launcher and to it going under her body. Since I didn't have a big enough green screen to shoot a shot like this, we did it outside because we'd be shooting at night, and when the sun came up, the sky would turn blue, and you'd have this perfect blue sky earlier in the morning that would work as a blue screen, where we could then extract her from the shot easily and put her into the environment. But there's some things you just can't fake. I put in the script Tulum, Mexico, because I wanted to go shoot these great temples that exist there, right there on the beach. I mean, they're fantastic. I've always wanted to shoot there. So the cast and crew, of course, are all excited that they're going to go out on location finally and, you know, get on a nice beach and, you know, party time. Until they come out and see that I've just dumped sand in my parking lot and put a green screen up. And it turns out that I'm the only one going to Mexico to shoot these plates. So that's a big bummer. But hey, man, you got to save money. We animatic this whole end sequence to really plan out the shots, because if you're going to be stringing the actress up on wires and having her roll around on the ground, you want to make sure you're not over covering something. You're only going to shoot what you need. So something that's in between a storyboard and an animatic is a videomatic. I still shoot video rehearsals for the actors sometimes and edit them together to show them how a sequence is going to go.
Oh, what do I know, my love?
Starting to already drop it.
Now let's see how fast your friends work. It's pretty fast.
Early on in the script stage, I recorded the main theme for Grindhouse. And so I wanted to shoot a dance sequence to show what Cherry was like before she loses her leg. So I would shoot a rehearsal on video and figure out all the moves there very quickly. Because with a video camera, you can move very fast and try different things. And then I would edit that together. And then so that way when we get to the set, we're not spending all day shooting. We can just get the shots that we know we need. So anything like that that feels like it's going to be time consuming, I always shoot on video first and edit it. Some things you can't plan for instance, people would say, how could you, kill your own son in the movie? Because my son plays Tony. And I really didn't know if I should kill him, because that was one of the first things I wrote in the script, trying to think of what was the most horrible thing that could happen to me. So I wanted there to be some element of real horror in the movie, because everything else was sort of made up. But I wasn't sure if that idea was going to work in the tone of the movie. So I shot 2 versions. I'd go ahead and shoot another take to show where he is in a scene. I filmed him with the babysitters. I filmed him hiding behind a seat. I filmed him hiding in the barbecue restaurant. I filmed him running away with the group across the army base, going into the helicopter with his mother, which actually makes more sense in this version because that's why she would run to another copter, is to make sure her son gets a seat. All the way to the end where he's on the beach with the pets. Well, our 10 minutes are up, but look for my 10-minute cooking school, Texas Barbecue, which will be on the upcoming double disc Grindhouse DVD, where I will be giving away true Texas barbecue award-winning recipes.
Damn, that's good.
Till next time, I'm Robert Rodriguez, and keep making shit. As far as the babes in Planet Terror go, we just ended up with really fantastic actresses. I think that's what lends itself to giving us that poster art and the trailers where you just see, God, this movie has everything. Rose McGowan, no one else could play Cherry. She has to be able to do the action, she has to be sexy and romantic. And I had written some music while I was writing the script, the main Grindhouse theme that you hear in the trailers. Rose, can you dance? Yeah, okay, well I'm gonna have you dance during the opening credits, and now you're a dancer. And that's when you lose your leg, it'll mean even more to the audience.
My character, Cherry, starts out as this girl whose life is a bit on the skids. All of a sudden, I kind of have to save the universe. You know how that goes.
She was born to be an action hero. She really was. She was born to play this role, quite frankly. First of all, she's stunningly beautiful. And she's got this great sense of comedic timing and physicality, which is so perfect for the role.
Broke my leg.
Okay. I made you something.
My gun goes in strange places. I always ask Robert, how did you come up with the fact that I have a machine gun leg? And every time the answer is, well, I was sitting in traffic. And that's where it stops. I sit in traffic a lot. I don't often have machine gun legs that pop in my head, but that's just me.
You okay?
I'm just Cherry.
Developing the character with Rose, it's the first time I really did it this way, where I came up with a machine gun leg and some of the gags for her, but I didn't really write any more in the other characters. I still only had that 30 pages, basically, for the other characters. So I thought, you know what? I'm getting so inspired by things Rose says. So just her personality. She told me, she's told me before that people tell her she should be a stand-up comedian and things like that. All that stuff came from her.
I'm going to be a stand-up comedian.
Really? You're not funny.
And I put that in as a character, just adding her own unusual personality to create a character I like being inspired by actors. So I wrote maybe another 10, 20 pages, and then I stopped and started casting. And Quentin was like, well, you're casting already? I said, yeah, I'm gonna go meet the actors. When I find somebody, because I have enough scenes, at least one good scene for each character that they can read. And off of that, I'll know kind of who I like. And then I'll write the rest of the script with them in mind, so I can play to their strengths and play to their personalities. He goes, oh, that's an interesting idea. I go, yeah, I don't know if I'm just being lazy or because there's just so many characters that they're not. It's hard for me to see them very individual until I can really put a face to them, because I'm not writing for anyone in particular other than Rose.
I always wanted to be a doctor.
Instead, I can do this. Useless talent number 66.
And one of the things she was always talking about whenever she did anything, she would just call it her useless talent. Oh, here's useless talent number 33 or whatever. And it'd be something funny that, I guess there really isn't much use for it. But what if there was at some point?
Very pliable.
I had to do this one particular back bend that we had just found in the rehearsal. This that really cool back bend. And said, "Oh, we got to bring that back. You have to dodge a missile somewhere." And it always gets a cheer from the audience because it's been set up so much. But it's a very funny phrase because I guess we all have a lot of seemingly useless talents.
You remember how to ride a bike?
Useless talent number 32.
Some of her best lines and ideas, I'm like, that's Rose. That was Rose's improvisation. That's her real personality in the character.
I thought you said if you saw a deer, you shouldn't fucking swerve.
Strap a machine gun leg on that, and then it just takes off from there.
It's a great way to kill people. If you have to kill them, you can do it with your leg.
Marley Shelton, she turns in a hot mama who knows the score. No, Marley was great. I worked with Marley in Sin City and thought of her for this and wrote the part, specifically for her.
I played Dakota McGraw Block, and I'm an anesthesiologist. Hi, Joe. I'm going to give you a very strong anesthetic.
One of the ideas I'd had, it was a scene I'd carried around for a while. I'd heard from a friend of mine. Came and told me this story. He's like, yeah, it was so weird. This anesthesiologist came by and he called them his friends, and then he would say, this friend is just going to take the sting off, and then this one's going to do this, and then after this one, you'll never see me again. And sure enough, I passed out, and when I woke up, I never saw him again.
And after my redheaded friend, you'll never see me again.
That's a great that guy has a routine down. He loves his job, so I wanted her to be that kind of person.
And action!
Well, the funniest thing about my character is the physicality of playing a character who can't use her hands. And funny enough, I have hyper-flexible wrists. So I was like, Robert, I was born to play this character because I can actually move my wrists like in a really bizarre way. And stupid human tricks. But so that was really fun for me. Just playing the frustration. She's a doctor who's rendered awkward. She's someone who's hyper efficient, type A personality, always in control, who now is out of control.
Just want to make her life very complicated for the night on, so that everything's an ordeal. Just to open your car door or to get your key, just to make people realize, like, wow, what if you had no use of your hands and you're trying to go save your kid? Your whole life's screwed up. I mean, just that alone is just going to be just a pain in the ass factor that creates its own drama and its own suspense.
You're a dancer.
I was earlier tonight.
Well, I'm pulling you out of retirement!
I had this comeback moment where I get to shoot my needle gun at the bad guy and then twirl it in like old school Western movie fashion. Just like my pops, Quick Draw McGraw, Earl McGraw would. I was terrified. I spent months trying to learn how to do it.
Where'd you get that? Useless talent number 37.
The day we shot that scene, I was so nervous. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. And we got it, so I pulled it off.
Fergie gets to play Tammy, which originally when I was writing it was based on a friend of mine named Tommy whose car broke down on the side of the road. And then I'm like, this is a Grindhouse movie. I'm going to change Tommy to Tammy. And now it's a lesbian lover rather than a straight relationship. It's kind of the Grindhouse thinking. You always try to milk anything you could out of it.
Thanks, JT.
My casting director, Mary Verneu's really good. I was saying, I want somebody that looks like Dakota's very strong, but I want another female character who looks like she could be a real, really strong and take care of her and her child, and someone who's got, some real character to her. You could see the attraction. And she said, this one girl, Fergie's a singer, but she started as an actress, and she's come in and read for me several times. She's really good. You should meet her. So she came in and read, and she was great.
I gotta go.
Saving lives, are you?
Now, how did you know that? As I was filming the scene, when the zombies attacked me, Quentin really got into it.
I think he had a lot of fun with that.
Action, action.
He's doing the whole run with me, so it's great. So I look over and I see Quentin, and I have to kind of visualize this zombie-esque character. And we kept having to redo the scene because he was getting so into being this creature that he was making all these noises.
Hey, go, go, go.
And he was blaming it on the other guys, but really, it was Quentin who was making all the noise.
And so I'm doing the scene, right? And it comes to the part, and he starts biting me.
Well, I got some good jump power there.
I know. Look at this thing.
It wasn't it wasn't like a bite. She wasn't bleeding or anything, but certainly felt some teeth on flesh. But yeah, it happens. People get into their role.
Quentin fucking bit me. And by the end of this shoot, I will bite.
Brian, 1 second. 1 second. Yo. Gotta clean this. Gotta clean it for a moment, man.
I remember when I was writing the script, I'm going, oh, I've only got 3 babes in my movie. I don't know if that's enough for a grindhouse. I guess I have to make 2.
You got the twins, and you got 5 babes in your movie.
You said 10. You can't be watching her kill damn night. We got shit to do.
That's right. We probably won't get any more babysitting jobs ever in our life. Yeah, this is it.
My nieces, I had an idea to cast some years ago when I first met them. They'd been living in Venezuela. They came up. They just moved to the States. They were just learning English. And they were crazy. They were just so wild and just so full of life. And they just finishing each other's sentences, mixing English and Spanish, and just genuine characters. So I thought that'd be totally grindhouse to have 2 twins just there. And they would just be nuts. Or even said in the script, they're not infected, they're just crazy. And then they turn into good girls at the end with machine guns and turn out to be good allies because they can fight, they're feisty. Don't take shit from anybody.
Fucking cool. We're like, give me that gun. I'm shooting everything.
We shot everybody they told us to shoot to. People we weren't supposed to shoot to. We shot everybody.
They told us, hey, stop, there's no monkey business going on, you know?
Oh yeah, we were
Get
like
serious.
joking around, and they said, no, you can't do this, and they
don't put the hand on the trigger. They always say, we always forget. Because, playing when we're little, we shoot guns all the time playing.
Who's next?
I am.
All right.
Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Cool.
And Jeff Fahey sat us down, and he said, you listen to me. You hold that gun, you can kill somebody with that thing. And I was like, okay. So he held us accountable for it. It's so dangerous,
And the crew has been really understanding just because first film for us and first experience. So they have a lot of patience explaining to us how to deal with everything. We get stuck here, shoot, and we can
If you look at the credits, it says, starring, Rose, Josh, this, and the crazy babysitter twins. It doesn't say their names.
Where do you think you're going? I'm Cherry. You sure are.
As far as the guys in Planet Terror go, I was writing first sort of in a vacuum, and then I like meeting actors while I'm still writing so that I can finish writing the part. I did that for Freddie. I did that. Freddie didn't turn into the badass until after I met him, and I went, oh, I know what I can do with this character. And so when he got the script and read that that's the part he was playing, it was so different from the scene he read. He said, you want me to be this guy? It's like Antonio Banderas' part in Desperado. And I was like, yeah, I think that would be great. You'll be very unassuming. You'll be very mysterious. No one will ever know who you are. You're like the most badass guy in the world. Who inspires Rose to put on the machine gun leg and become a superhero herself.
I made you something. I do believe in you. Always have. I believe that you could be better. You deserve better. Even better than me.
Freddie's got this great edge in this character, he just really nails it. He definitely has this cool thing going on, El Rey.
Who are you?
When I met him, he came with a cool brown jacket, which we couldn't find anything like that, so we made him wear his own jacket through the whole movie. So he only had one jacket. So if it got all torn up, we're screwed. So it was very Grindhouse.
Well, it's the first time I've ever been involved in a film like this before, so it was a completely new experience for me. I've never been in a horror film, I've never played an action hero before, and it was fun.
Freddie's just such a solid actor. I knew he'd be able to pull it off, and he started working out and doing all his training, and he just kept wanting to live up to the image of what he thought I expected, having done Desperado and Dusk Till Dawn, and he didn't want to let me down, and he certainly did not.
He's an action stud.
We gotta fight them all. Get to our vehicles. Everyone behind me!
He's got the voice, he's got the look, he's got the surly quality, and he's so sexy and just such a leading man. He really is such a leading man.
Where the hell are the bodies?
I worked with Josh Brolin briefly when I went and did a second unit on Mimic, and we had such a great time together. I'd always tried to work with him since then. And he came in with this really crazy take, and it was so twisted and cool. We just clicked, and I thought, okay, this is the one we're gonna do. We're gonna have a lot of fun making this guy.
He was writing a thing for me, and we were emailing each other back and forth. And it was like, why would you not be a part of something that's that fun, you know, that's that regressed? Other movies you're going, well, what is this? You know, is this good for me? Is this a good character? You go, this, I don't give a fuck. It's all good.
And the character's crazy. And at one point he goes, is this based on me or on you? And I said, I think it's both of us.
I'm gonna eat your brains and gain your knowledge.
It was so hard to pretend that we loathed each other because he's just the most wonderful, magnanimous guy. Between takes we were cracking up, and meanwhile we hate each other, we're killing each other, we're fighting, we're violent. So that was a little challenging.
That's when it wasn't fun. No, it wasn't, because I like her so much, and you're sitting there being this evil, sinister, awful human being, and she's crying the whole time, and no, it wasn't fun. First, let me get my wife.
Two of the most dangerous characters that pose the most important threat to the heroes of the movie are not the infected people. It's Josh Brolin's character and mine. Rapist number one kind of becomes like the main villain for the third act of the movie.
There's nothing wrong with him. He's just crazy.
He's just a fucking lunatic.
You got something you want to say to me?
I have nothing to say to you.
You got nothing to say, huh? That's funny. Because I could have swore you just gave me a fuck you look right now.
I always love that in a lot of these type of movies where, yeah, it's like, yeah, they're dealing with the faceless hordes of zombies, but these fucked up characters are just as much of a threat, if not more of a threat to our heroes.
And action. That was great.
We work good together because I really know what he can do and have a good audience. I really love the stuff he does. He's just a hilarious guy.
I've never seen anybody so enthusiastic, particularly Quentin.
Just say break off, and break off.
He's like totally into it. Most actors are a bit kind of, you know, they don't want to go for it during the read-through, be a bit cool, you know, distant. Not Quentin. He's reading it like he would be doing it on the set.
Very nice. Sometimes when you do a table read, you get the main actors there. You don't have everyone cast yet, so the parts that aren't cast, I'll read for those characters, and Quentin was there, so I said, oh, you take a couple people, and you can take rapist number one, and I'll be rapist number two, whatever. And he read, and he tried to make it sound creepy sounding, because the dialogue was, some of the dialogue was taken from a original script from Dusk Till Dawn. And so he started talking in his Richie voice, Richie Gecko voice, and it sounded really creepy, so everybody was like, ooh.
He was so good and treacherous and funny at the same time. I think he got hired on the spot.
Just to hear him play a villain again, it would add a lot to it than just me just hiring somebody. And I thought he would just be really terrific, and so everybody reacting to him kind of made him feel like, maybe I could do this. When Quentin looked at the police force, he goes, God, look at this cool police force. You got El Mariachi, you got Tom Savini, you got Michael Biehn. For a small town, like, you're doing pretty good, you know.
Carlos, go get him.
While I was writing the script, Carlos emailed me, said, hey, is there any part for me in the movie? And I went, Yeah, actually, I've actually got a character named Carlos. You should just come play Carlos. And you'd be on this badass police force, and then it all clicked. You know who this guy is?
Yeah, man.
A mariachi.
Dude, I already gave him homage, man.
He gets his brains eaten, poor guy, but he can come in and just be badass for a second. Carlos, oldest friend I got. We said, come to Mexico, make a movie on my place. We tried every summer, we'd go shoot a movie until we finally made mariachi. I was always remember sitting on this toilet, writing the script out what we're going to do. Comes into town, bad guys show up, they beat him up, then he beats them up, then he leaves.
Where's my finger? On your ring.
I had a very small part, a character who came in with his finger bit off, and then he was a deputy, and he got killed right away. I said, I gotta bring Tom Savini back somewhere, because he was so great to work with him from Dusk Till Dawn, but it's not gonna be the heroic role that was. I give him some action to do, but it'll be probably more fun for him, because he's such a terrific actor, to play something very different that people would expect.
How's that, Tom? Feel good? Hey, Mark. All right?
And so we just kind of built this character together. I said, okay, I won't kill him off right away, and we'll just figure out what's going to happen to him and what he's going to do. And he plays a really interesting character. He plays a very different character than you'd think. He's someone who probably should have been sheriff, but probably just was a little too shell-shocked. He's kind of he's not a bumbler, but he doesn't quite, he'll shoot the wrong person. He might even shoot you. Just in a panic. And it's great seeing him play such a different character. He gets to do some heroic stuff, but he's not like that the whole time like he was in Dusk Till Dawn.
Dumbass.
And I kept him around as long as I could. Have him die off in a very Dusk Till Dawn sort of way.
The whole reason I'm here is Robert and Quentin came to the Land of the Dead premiere, and Quentin was talking to George Romero. And Robert kept pointing at me and never got a word in edgewise, so I wrote him an email. Well, Robert, what were you trying to say when Quentin, oh, yeah, that we should use you in this movie. Thanks for reminding me. Here I am.
Michael Biehn. I'd only had the parts half written when I met him and cast him, and then wrote the rest of it based on what I could do with him.
Fine, we're taking my car.
And I got a lot of his character from him. He came in with a lot of ideas.
Fine, but we're taking my car. I'm riding with you.
Perfect. That was kind of fun. There's a car blowing up in the background.
Michael Biehn is just so brilliant. He's so funny. I love his stuff with Jeff Fahey.
We're always fighting. I'm always raising the rent on him. I'm always trying to get the recipe off of him.
Now what you gonna do? You gonna hang up that fancy badge, pick up a brisket, open up your own barbecue joint? Ah! Well, ain't gonna happen. Not with my recipe anyway. Granddad, pass that recipe on to me. And he passed on to me this building.
I liked Michael Biehn a lot for the sheriff, but I also thought Jeff could be a good sheriff. So I had him read first for the sheriff. I was like, God, Jeff's really great too. Maybe I can make Jeff, JT the cook. Should be very different for him to do. I think he might like getting into a character like that.
Can I interest y'all in a plate of soon-to-be award-winning barbecue?
I mean, this is barbecue, brother. This is the real thing.
They look so similar. They would almost look like brothers.
What are you doing with the rifle, Ray?
They've had a very similar manliness about them.
Right there.
They're close in age, size and feature-wise. That would be kind of confusing for the audience. I thought, oh, well, I'll just make them brothers.
Mike and I, our career paths have crossed for years, for 25, 30 years, and films that he did I wanted to do, films I did he wanted to do. We've been auditioning for a lot of the same roles throughout the career, and then to end up playing brothers together. It was a great ride.
Salt in my sauce.
Everyone's done an amazing job of walking this line between comedy and drama. The stakes are so high, the world is coming to an end as we know it. Zombies are killing us, and yet there's so much room for humor.
Blood is salty. That's all my sauce needed, with just a little more salt.
To me, it's all just barbecue sauce, brother, and that's it. Now, I understand there's other things going on, but as far as I'm concerned, JT just wants to get the perfect barbecue sauce, get him on the Food Channel, and put this damn place on the map.
Just need a little thickening agent, you know what I'm talking about. I tell you what, brother, that little bit of blood did the trick.
Yeah. Anybody ask you what the movie's about? It's about JT, his dog, and his barbecue
I think
sauce.
they're thinking about changing the title to JT and his sauce.
God damn it, I told you I didn't want to see you again. Daddy!
This is a character that is just such a great character. Quentin wrote, I guess the first one was Dusk Till Dawn. Was that the first time you'd written him?
We both loved Michael Parks so much. It was never discussed. There was never an agreement about it between me and Robert, but it was just sort of like, he's a character we share. And Robert can put him in something. I don't have to have anything to do with it. And the thing that would be interesting about that is to see where Robert takes him. Because once it's introduced, there's no takebacks. That now becomes him. That becomes part of his lineage.
I love you, sweetie.
I've always like had him come in and get out. Robert actually, for the first time, has made him like a character that like has a backstory, and you see him throughout the piece and stuff. And that was when I find out that, lo and behold, Earl McGraw has a daughter.
Bye, Daddy.
When you read the script,
I didn't know. I was just as shocked as anybody else would be. Really? Wow.
Is his daughter?
That's his daughter? Is his daughter?
Yeah, I didn't know it was his daughter until I was writing the scene, and she goes up to the door and bangs on it, and then he answers, and she says, "Dad." And I was like, "Oh my God, he has a daughter. Oh, that's cool." Hope Quentin likes that, because I know he has written in a son for him, 2 sons.
Everybody like that son of a bitch.
Michael Parks is a blast to work with.
Not as useless as a pecker on a pope.
He has the driest sense of humor I've ever come across. His choices are so specific, they're so funny without being a caricature, and he walks that line brilliantly.
He's just so dead on. He ad-lib stuff that's just gold.
Aiding and abetting. A minor.
That's always your writer's best friend, is when you have somebody like that who take a line, even something that doesn't read that well on paper, and I keep saying, I don't know, I think I might want to change this line. He's like, He puts his own spin on it and makes it sound great.
Mona? Fart like a goddamn pack mule since I've been back. Goddamn.
Naveen Andrews came in and read the scene with the balls. It was a scene I'd written 10 years ago for a video game intro I was writing when I had Video Game Company, and I always liked that scene. That's the only scene I had. And I've always tried to put it in every movie, but it never fit. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stick it in this movie somehow, make it work. And Naveen came in and read, and I'd written it as an Arab guy with a Texas accent or something strange about him that didn't. And Naveen came in and he has this British accent. And, do you mind if I just read in my regular accent? I said, no, go ahead. And everything just sounded so funny.
Where are my men? I've got several right here.
I thought, okay, now I'm going to write the rest of the character for him.
I play Abby, who is a scientist, a good scientist, I think, at that point, who has a predilection for collecting things.
Fuck's this?
They're balls, sweetheart. And this intrigued me. I've never played anybody who's cut people's bollocks off for laughs and stores them and keeps a collection of them. Working with Robert was like he was a child in some ways. He had the open sensibility of a child.
Can we do one more of those, Robert? That's great.
I can remember when we'd done some scene where the balls had been squashed into the ground, and I said, you know, my son would love this. He would just love it. And Robert sort of like looked down at the ground and went, I'm 14. And to preserve that sort of sensibility is difficult, and that kind of joy in things, if you like, and humour.
Right, and who am I shooting at on this side?
You're shooting at Bruce.
Okay, Bruce.
Muldoon, yeah. You'll shoot at Bruce.
And he's doing his...
I just wrote that the other day. I don't know what that is. I thought it was a cartwheel. I was watching Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, and they shoot at him, and he goes... he dodges like this. So I thought it was just like I thought he just like does some kind of weird flip, and I can CG and gun blast. Like while he's doing it, he can actually fire. A couple of guys go out like, whoa, what move was that? Because I figure Bruce has just done so many moves. He's never done a cartwheel.
No, that would be a first, probably.
But it probably won't end up being that. I just was late at night. Cartwheel move, that's good.
I was writing the bad guy for an actor who called saying, hey, I want to be in one of your movies. We've been trying to work together for a while. So I said, well, okay, let me try to elevate this part and give him a good speech. And if it attracts him, good. If it doesn't, maybe I'll go for even a bigger actor. Maybe just think bigger. And the guy, turns out he got a TV show, couldn't do it. So I thought, maybe I should aim higher and go, Bruce had such a great time on Sin City. He always said, hey, anytime, anywhere. So I showed him the footage that I'd done already of Machete and some other stuff. Yeah, he thought it was great. And most of his work probably would have been in what is now the missing reel. So he kind of shows up in the beginning, shows up somewhere in the middle, and then he comes back big in the end. And he read the part, and I said, yeah, you're the guy who killed Bin Laden, that no one knows he's even dead. And he's like, who better?
Yeah.
That was me.
Quentin didn't even know he was in the movie till he showed up on the set.
Yeah.
What's Bruce doing here?
I thought he was visiting, but I guess he's not visiting. He's dressed up as
He's all dressed up.
as a Marine.
Shooting things, blowing things up. Doing what he does best. That came out really great. I do that guy's voice and it sounds so... People bust up. It is crazy funny. He's getting his dick wet, sir. That's a little sound effect to it.
Get him the fuck down here!
Get the fuck down here!
He's getting his dick wet, sir. Get him the fuck down here now!
Let's remember what we're doing here. It's called exploitation.
Hey, remember we thought about a line when you were in there? I said, what do you think you'd say if you're in the car and suddenly there were zombies all around?
Well, this sucks.
Probably the most fun experience I've had making a movie was when I did Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Those first 5 days that I got to work with Rebel. He was 5 years old at the time. And I just could have died right now and just be happy because it was just the most fun to be able to go to work, which is always kind of tough to do, come up with ideas. But when you have your little son there and he's acting and he's pulling it off in front of a green screen and just like, this is what it's all about. So when I was writing the script, I had a little boy and he's just so inspiring because he's got this bowl haircut that reminds me of the kid from The Shining or the kid from any of those horror movies. The kids always have that little bowl haircut and they always have the same look and they're all doomed, you know. So for the doomed child in this, some terrible things happened to him. I thought, it's either traumatized and a little 6-year-old, or I can just do it to my own kid.
You gotta get out of the car and get the zombies everywhere.
And I can make sure he never sees that movie. In fact, I'll even shoot an alternate version that he'll remember shooting and see footage of where he lives all the way through and gets in the helicopter and flies away.
Let me in! Tony! Come! Give it to me, come on!
As of this moment, he still does not know that he dies in the movie. Now, there are 2 versions, so technically I never lied to him. He did live. He did film all the way to the end.
Careful.
He never held the gun. We did that digitally. You know, we just put a water pistol in his hand. There's a lot of pro-gun stuff in the movie. The girl has a machine gun leg, and everybody's using guns all the time. We need to put something in that reminds people that a lot of people get killed with guns, especially kids. So, you know, put it in public service announcement in there. So make him feel like he's part of doing something good. So that's what I'll explain to him later. But I didn't have the heart to tell him that he died because I didn't want him to get nightmares. And his brothers kept asking, what happens to him in this movie? And I would say, oh, he lives. I showed you the footage. Remember, he gets all the way to the beach. So I still haven't told him. So I feel like a bad dad. But then again, I figure when I tell him there's no Santa Claus and there's no Easter Bunny, I'll throw in that, oh, by the way, he also died in that movie. I'll add it into that.
Earplugs in? You got your earpluggies in? All you're gonna do is stay with your mama and run with your mama, okay?
Alright, so what's the name of your character?
Tony.
And how old is Tony?
7, just like me. Hey, my other tooth fell out.
Well, I had the honor of Rebel Rodriguez, Robert's son, playing my son.
Get your mama, go give her a big hug.
And he is just, first of all, he's a beautiful boy. I was flattered that Robert cast him thinking that Josh and I could create such a beautiful child together. He's just so angelic and gorgeous, and he has this stillness about him. He says so much with his eyes. He really doesn't have to do much, and it just reads incredibly on camera.
It sure did. Hey, your tooth fell out too. We're toothless buddies.
He's really quiet. Rebel is the quietest, but then you see him with his brothers and he's rolling around. And they're attacking each other and hitting each other and doing all those things that little kids do. But when he's on the set, he's very mellow, very quiet, very, very sweet. Yeah, so it was fun. It was fun working with him.
Hey, what happened to your tooth?
Fell out.
I used to say a prayer for your old man. No dead bodies for Dad tonight.
No dead bodies for Dad tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Unfortunately, in the movie, I'm the world's worst mother. So that was really hard for me. I'm like, Rebel, I'm really not like this, I promise. Tony! We're leaving!
Wait, my tarantula.
Did you get to play with spiders in the movie?
I get to hold one
It's furry. Is that furry?
When I was writing, we were way into that at the time. Rebel is very much like me. Just one day he got the idea, let's get a pet scorpion. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's call up right now. They close in an hour. Let's go. We'd go. None of the other boys were interested. We'd come back with a tarantula and a spider, and then a few days later we bought a turtle, and we had all these things, and so they show up in the movie. I thought, what a cool kid. You know, if I want to write a cool kid, I'll model it after my own kid.
Right, yeah.
Who's got all these pets and puts them all in the same tank.
And my turtle. And my scorpion.
And we're not all octopuses, so we can't carry everything.
Octopi. Whoa.
So literally, Rebel would come in and he would grab like the stinger, or he'd grab his claw and he'd go up like that, and then he'd put it in a little bin or, you know, Tupperware. And I would never do that. The kid's fearless. Fearless.
How's that? Good. Okay.
To lay on your belly.
Yeah, he loves all that stuff. Loves that stuff. But look at his dad, man. Exactly. Exactly. Vampire spiders, vampire spiders.
It's also a good night and a picture at the Rebel. Woo! We're still hot. Here we go, and zombie action. All right, very nice. Let's reset. Still rolling. Very nice, everybody.
Robert knows what he wants to do. You know, if he sees something he doesn't like, he'll come and tell you and say, hey, maybe if he just did it like this, it'd be better. And he's great. He's easy to work with.
Did you get any video? Jeff, I mean, I did all the Spy Kid movies with him. This is a very safe man, and yet knows how to come up with great ways to do action. And after we did the stuff in Once Upon a Time, Mexico, like down the building, I know, you know, we could do anything.
The best shot would be to obviously to let it go out of frame, right?
She's not going to go down.
We've been on the green screen for a couple of shows, and it was kind of nice to get out and play outdoors for a while.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right in the middle.
You okay, Rose? You right? Okay?
Dashnot and his whole crew, I mean, they're amazing. They're just, you know, I was very lucky. There's a girl named Dana, who's my stunt woman. I worked with her for about the past five or 6 years now. And I was really hoping that, you know, she could come on this, and it turns out they've already worked together. And they're just smooth, professional, very funny guys. And, you know, safety is their thing. Initially, I was like, oh, my wrist hurts. You would get on the walkie. Rose's wrist hurts. And I was like, Jeff, if I'm hurt, I will never tell you.
Oh, God, we flew Rose. I think we flew her 90 or 100 feet over a couple of walls and landed her on a stomach on an 8-inch pad. We rehearsed her a couple of times and did it without a hitch. I mean, she was great.
I mean, they've tortured her with the stunts and things she's had to do, and she just gets up and keeps on kicking. It's really incredible to watch.
This would not be a good part for any kind of girl that was like, ow, this hurts, or oh, and that would not work, because I was coming home battered and bruised. But I thought it was cool because, you know, I have this kind of like dainty little body, and I was doing these like kind of tough guy things. I was proud of myself physically.
If you're going to be using cables and things to do these really fantastical stunts, you might as well have the actor do it, because you see that it's her. I mean, because I'm zooming in, I have a tight camera always in a wide, and they're adding their own physical character to it as well. It's very physical acting. And she was also the type who wanted to do all her own stunts.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, you ready? Set. Both cameras speeding? They speed. Okay, your call, Jamie.
Here we go, Rose. 3, 2, 1, go.
Very nice, man. Very nice.
Good job, Jamie.
Good. I mean, to step on the wires and just do it. We didn't get a lot of rehearsal time with her, but that can be a little intimidating, but she hung in.
I loved it. But there's so much riding on you nailing every single position. So I'm like having to fly up exactly like that and then flip sideways with my legs straight, you know, my gun leg, shoot all these people on the ground. And then I have to flip over through the wires on my stomach to land on my stomach, to slide across, and to get on my butt and start shooting everybody in a circle. So, you know, it was a little daunting.
Freddie's great. He'd never shot a gun. He'd never had a bullet hit on him. We shot him up the other night. It was awesome. You know, usually guys will freak out their first time, but he did really, really good.
Jeff Dashnell, you know, the guy's been around 30 years, you know, has worked with everybody. What he's here for is to make somebody like me look good, you know, so I feel really blessed to have him.
He'd hit you bang, bang, and your left arm has to open up. That left arm would open up, and you'd just keep firing with your head up.
See here,
as
your
you're
hands
going out, like even right there.
You got to keep
good
aiming
reactions
at him.
right there.
You got to keep aiming at him and shooting. Still shooting at him, even as you're getting shot.
And that'll help you keep your head up.
Okay, try it again.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Let's try it again. No squibs, just the blanks.
I've never really done an action film where I've played, you know, an action hero. So, you know, I really worked my butt off to get it right. I did a couple of months of gun training with a man named Thel Reed, who was a legend at it.
Action! Nice, okay.
Did a lot of fight training with Jeff Dashnell. Did about a month of knife training as well with another legend, Jeff LaMotta.
Freddie's a great student coming from dance. He's, you know, the footwork comes real easy for him. He's become very proficient. There's a couple of moves he does in the movie, killing people, and kills a couple more zombies with some balisson knives.
We use a lot of stunt people. Jeff's pretty good about. We have to save money on our budget so much. We always reduce it and then just redress the same people. And so Jeff's great at bringing the best people that can just do multiple different kinds of stunts, from burn to, you know, they can do it all. So they're not having to bring in just specialists.
Quentin's character, who plays the rapist, we blew him backwards, upside down, head first through some metal doors, which was a pretty cool shot. And I was happy about it because it's a, you know, very famous, prominent stuntman in our business. His son, Terry Leonard's son, Malosi, and he did great.
Here we go. How's that go, Robert?
3.
That gives a little tickle on the cable. Little movement. Here we go. Little movement. 3, 2, 1, go.
Open that door, will you, baby?
God, I'm good.
Okay.
You good, Los?
How'd that look?
Stop having 46 on the game. Okay, good.
I've got Dana Reed, who doubles Rose. When Dana's not all dressed up in the cute cherry clothes, she's got a military outfit on, taking bullet hits and eating the ground.
And action!
Very nice. Okay, good cut.
Cut it, cut. Nice, guys. Dana good? Nice, Dana. Malosi good? You suck, Malosi.
Jen Caputo, who's riding choppers, and she doubled the babysitter for the car hit at the opening of the movie.
And go! Speed. Cut. Once again, right away. Very nice.
That's great. Okay, we're good. Really great.
We're good?
Yeah.
My wife Tracy, that's driving the old nasty tow truck.
Once Brian yells cut, as soon as he yells cut, Tracy's going to drive out of the shot. The water hose will be dedicated to Tracy in the truck first, and then we'll put the set out.
Somebody say cut!
Oh, we man, I missed how did I miss the fucking Coke thing? The Coke's like hanging in there, man. Oh, and then the jungle set like hangs in there for a long time. It has a total like, you know, Buster Keaton like when it finally does fall.
Zoe Bell did some stunts as the zombie sometimes. She's eating Tommy, she's getting shot here, and I was like, that's Zoe, that's Zoe. Before she did Quentin's Death Proof, she was one of our stunt people.
I have a guy down here named Tim Trella. Tim is great. In fact, I have a son that's working on the movie. Him and Tim did a giant fire stunt together. The gas tanks at JT's Diner blew up and completely engulfed them with gas and benzol peroxide. You know, to me, of all the stunts that you can do in our business, that's the scariest one. I get nervous when anyone's doing it, but when it's a close friend or family like that, it's pretty terrifying. But it went off real good.
Good, Jeff. Put him out.
We've got John McLeod and his crew on this show. John's great. The other night we had explosions with guys, my guys on fire, hitting air ramps, flying over cars, flying over debris.
Robert, like us, you know, he loves his pyrotechnics, and he kind of said to me, "You're going to have fun on this one." I said, "Great, you know, let's do it." Yeah, he pretty much he packed that script full of stuff, and then there was all the stuff that came up in between the ideas in the script, where, you know, we'd fill in with, you know, the atmosphere, the fire, the explosions, the bullet hits, and yeah, we were a busy group of guys during that shoot. I was lucky to have so many talented guys with me.
Everybody listen up, safety meeting. So what we're having out here now, there are 4 quadrants in that whole area. There are 4 areas, break it into 4 squares. We're going to blow up the first quadrant, which is the deep left area. There are 9 different explosions that go off. They're all big ones. Johnny will describe those in a moment. Stuntmen will be flying around in there. I need everybody, just no applause, no laughter, nothing like that until we yell cut, please, okay? Number 2, nobody steps in at all unless Jeff Dashnaw or John McLeod ask for them.
With each one of the sequences, we have about probably 150 foot of debris and fireballs going up. So where they're going to come down, if they go up and get caught in the wind, they may flutter down back here. So this area here, it should be kind of kept clear.
Okay,
heads
so
up.
keep everyone behind Video Village?
Yeah.
But 150 feet in the air, if it's a piece of balsa wood's going to hurt somebody if it hits them in the head. Okay. Also, after the shot, we've got 2 air ramps that I have to remain hot. The guys will be off them, but they're very dangerous. So they're one behind the truck over here and one over by the camera in the shed.
So nobody goes in until you close that down, except for firemen might be coming in if necessary.
Okay, well,
okay?
we'll go in with them, but just a note.
So unless Johnny or Jeff asks for you specifically, nobody steps in and we keep this area clear. Are there any questions? Anything, Robert? Nope. Okay, let's do it.
I'm only now learning when John's doing an explosion for you, get wider, because they're like, I only need it to be about this big, and it just like engulfs everything, and it makes for awesome stuff, and he always just goes the extra mile and does great physical effects.
Go ahead and charge, Nick. Okay, Brian.
Let's roll sound. Fire the hole.
Okay, I'm hot.
3, 2, 1, action!
You see a plane was going over, you know, to the airport during one of the explosions that was really big, and you saw the plane actually dip a little, like, whoa. Everybody must have been looking down going, what the hell is going on down there?
Engulfed.
What? You gotta see this.
Tommy Nix wrote Road Racers with me. He shows up in a bunch of my movies. He plays Weevil in Sin City. It's a Mickey Rourke's friend. And I brought him on just as an actor because we've been trying to come up with a zombie movie forever. I said, well, I'm finally making one. You have to be in it, and we're going to kill you. You get to get eaten by a zombie. You get to be the nutty, assistant guy. And just come do one of your weird character things.
Where the hell are the bodies? That's what we wanted to show you. They're gone. They didn't just get up and walk out, did they?
It was just so funny after the movie. Harvey Weinstein and Bob, and even my agent too, like, who's that wiry guy that said he's great? He's the best guy in the movie. It's just like real character actor that you would see in one of these old movies. And I said, that's Tommy. You know my friend Tommy. They're like, that's Tommy. You should be in all our movies from now on. We always have parts for guys like that. He was just so terrific in it, and he got to live his dream of getting eaten by a zombie.
Not today!
Some of the stuff in the movie was based on things that would happen to him. I live way out in the boonies, and he, to get out there, you have to drive on a highway where there's no lights. And his car, he has that old Volvo, gray Volvo, broke down, and he was like running out just with a flashlight to make sure there are no snakes. And the only light you would see is when a car would come by, and then it would go black again. So I thought, oh, that's a great place to get killed by a zombie. And so originally he was going to be that character, Tommy, the one who is with Dakota, the cheat. She's cheating with on her husband with Tommy. But then I thought, oh wait a minute, this is an exploitation movie. It's got to be another girl. I have to change it to Tammy, so it's a woman relationship.
Viral infections. They came pouring in.
I play Dr. Felix. I play myself.
Oh, nice.
And I had my friend, my doctor, Dr. Felix Sabates, said, can you come show me, like, he goes, oh, I got tons of that stuff, because he works in the ER, and people would come in with gout or Bot's fly, and it's the weirdest shit you've ever seen. And he showed me, I was just ready to throw up. All that stuff that he showed on the monitor, it's all real from his own files that he would take. And I said, and he would explain it so fast. And everything I had in my script, well, could someone's brain get eaten? Why would they eat someone's brain? Go, oh, I know what that is. I know that's necrotizing fasciitis or something. We have a name for everything. It's like everything was explainable.
One thing led to another. He said, hey, you want to be in there? And I said, sure, that'd be great.
Swear to God, I've got these rocky eyeballs a friend of mine brought back to do some studies on. Incredible. They were completely milked over. Mustard gas does it to the eyes. Actually, I still have those in my fridge.
So first of all, you have to be in the movie now, because you got to explain all this, because you talk very fast. And it's true, and it should scare the audience into, that's what kind of exploitation movies would do. They would take a current situation and take it really far to just cause mass fear and make it feel really real and very topical, very, very of the day.
It was so incredible having Dr. Felix on set because, Robert really wrote the role for him, so it's his personality. He knows every factoid about strange, bizarre medical conditions that you could ever imagine. And I'm a hypochondriac, so I had a ball asking him questions and picking his brain.
Marley's fabulous. She says I was very funny. That even when I was serious, she said I was funny. I was like, oh no.
He's so nervous, man. You see people, once they get in front of the camera, it's just like literally the intelligence goes from like 280 to 10. They go, action. You just go.
The first time I met Josh, he brought me into his trailer and he says, let's go over your lines. And so, I thought I knew my lines pretty well, but he kind of stared at me with the Josh look. And I'd forgotten half my lines. I said, oh my God, what happened?
He gets so amazingly tense, and he's really good. He's really good. I mean, you sit and talk to him on the side, the guy will talk you, literally like into a hole about everything he knows about medicine, and he knows everything.
I told him, you're just going to be saying what you just told me, and you're going to be yourself, basically. So it's not like you're having to act. You just have to be yourself. So I think he felt comfortable like that. But then he got real nervous when he first had to shoot, going, they said, no, don't perform it. Just talk like you're normally talking. You don't have to, you hardly ever say a complete sentence. You're always cutting yourself off. You can do that. What I wrote doesn't have to be said word for word. I'd rather you just read it, get the idea of what I'm saying, now re-explain it to me in your own words. That's much better. That's what I was trying to do when I wrote it, was capture his voice. So he got very good at it. Oh, by the end, he was the master.
They all react differently.
God damn it, girls. You're gonna do that shit? Do it on stage.
Skip Rye's a guy that I always written for Skip. Skip is my realtor, and he really talks like that. You just can't even understand anything he's saying. Can't understand him. And I was like, what? It's a real thick Texas accent.
And he called me about right before they started, asked me to come in and read some lines. And I didn't know he was talking about a speaking role. No, I asked him, you mean I'm going to be talking in this? I thought I'd just be over in the corner somewhere, you know, looking cool. But, so that's how it came out.
Jerry, darling, told you too many fucking times. Can't be up there crying and all that shit.
And I could just hear him saying all these lines. Jerry, darling, it's go, go, not cry, cry. He always puts these little pauses in the way he talks.
It's go, go, not cry, cry.
It was so hard to get him to talk like himself. He kept trying to correct his talk. He's like, no, talk like you. And I would imitate what he would sound like, and then he would imitate me imitating him to get the readings I wanted. It was really funny, but he was genuine. I made him a big star there in Austin now. He rides around boat and lakes. Man, that did so much for me. Thank you, Robert.
Welcome to Comic-Con International 2006.
If you had heard the groans, right? So, we did bring some footage this time. Even though I'm still filming, I stopped filming in a couple more days, and then we'll pick right up and start Quentin. So,
yeah, I haven't started mine yet. I start mine in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. Yeah, start your rehearsals, and then we get going. And we brought some of the actors with us, and we're going to take some questions from you guys. So first, I guess we'll start by talking about how this project came about. So this is the way I remember it. Before I did Sin City, I was thinking about this idea of doing double features because I'd had idea of doing maybe movies that were about 60 minutes in length and doing 2 of them because I had a lot of old idea files of, it was like a zombie movie I'd been working on for a while. I never quite got past 30 pages of it and thought, oh, I don't know if I could pad it out to a whole feature, but maybe I could make it 60 minutes. Maybe I could take a couple of these 2 60-minuters and put them next to each other. And I had this old double bill poster for Drag Strip Girl and Rock All Night up in my room as inspiration. But then when I did Sin City, I kind of thought, well, that kind of took the place of that, you know, sort of shorter film format and kind of gave up the idea until I went to go show Quentin his segment of Sin City at his house, and there on the floor in his, you know, littered living room floor.
My collectible living room. I live in a collectible Spanish-style mansion with nothing but board games and videos and lobby cards and film prints everywhere.
And there's the same double bill poster that I had.
Yeah, they say Rock All Night and Drag Strip Girl.
And I went, shit, I had that poster. I thought, you know what, I had this idea about a year ago. Wait, what is the idea? Do a double feature. But I said, you should do one and I'll do the other. And right then he said, oh, we'll call it Grindhouse. We have to call it Grindhouse. So that's how the idea came about, and we started going on and on about it. And the reason why Grindhouse is because...
Well, yeah. Well, one of the things about it was, one of the things that I feel kind of sorry for like I guess the last generation or so, is they didn't have the fun of, one, going to like, everything is a mall theater, everything is a multiplex now. They didn't have that one bad theater in the neighborhood that was the ghetto movie theater that showed all the exploitation movies that didn't play just on video. They opened up for a week, you know, at the drive-in or at the grindhouses, and they were always double features. Well, Robert had that experience, and I've had that experience, and everyone before us had that experience. And the prints were shitty, and they looked like crap, but that was what was so cool about them. And so that's part of our idea here, is to try to bring that experience to the multiplexes in a big, gigantic 3,000 release kind of way to actually do these kind of cool exploitation movies. Except one of the things about those exploitation movies is they always had the greatest posters. But the movies oftentimes, because they were so cheap, couldn't deliver on the poster. We're going to make 2 sleazy grindhouse movies that will deliver on the poster and beyond. But we wanted to create the entire theatrical experience, which meant it's not just, you know, it's not just, you know, like, you know, one little movie here. It's like 2 movies and the exploitation trailers that go with it. And we want the trailers to be so good, you're going to demand that we do those trailers as the next movie.
I think that idea for doing the trailers came from, you know, when you go to Quentin's house and he has a screening and he has a screening room there and he puts together a little film program for the night. He'll put together like a zombie movie with a slasher movie, and he'll put trailers in between from legitimate movies of that era.
Right.
So we go to your house, we watch you and a group of friends, a couple of great trailers, see a feature.
Like a bunch of trailers, and then we'll see like Lucio Fulci's Zombie.
Right.
All right. Then some trailers, and then we'll see Sergio Martino's Torso. And that's a great night at the movies, man.
That's a night at Quentin's house.
Yeah, that's at my house.
Well, we want the whole world to have a night at Quentin's house, so let's make Grindhouse that experience. So
Exactly.
That was the idea.
But now the one thing that's a complete misconception about what we're doing, maybe everyone didn't know it was a misconception, but it became that, is this isn't some Twilight Zone the movie kind of fucking thing, all right? They're not, you know, it started out, well, mine will be an hour, you'll be an hour. Okay, bullshit on that. You think I'm gonna fucking make something that's an hour long? No.
We started out with that ambition, and
we
failed
started off there, and we failed miserably. This is not a faux double feature.
Anymore.
This is 2 fucking movies for the price of 1. And this is not some like little fun left-handed, wouldn't it be kind of cool to work with Robert? This is my next movie. This is Robert's next movie.
Yeah.
Your $10 will be well spent in Grindhouse, baby.
I'm going to bring out a couple people that you saw in the trailer. Just have a couple other faces out here. You remember her from Sin City. The beautiful, the talented Marley Shelton. Please come forward. Somewhere around here. Have a seat.
Hi.
Hello. You just saw her machine gunning down the undead with her leg. Rose McGowan. We're going to take a couple questions before we bring out a few more people. Yes.
Quickly, just want to say, Quentin, first of all, I assume, Robert, you shot this digitally. Quentin, did you do the same thing?
We haven't shot Quentin's yet.
Haven't shot mine yet.
Have you decided if you're going film?
No, I'm going to go film on mine.
Shooting film on Quentin's.
Okay, and like do the Grindhouse look put in.
Oh, hey. I won't be able to help get that. I'm shooting it myself.
No, we're actually going to drag it through the streets and get all that.
I'm going to wipe my ass with it a couple of times. Send it to the El Paso Drive-In Theater.
Now, why did those prints look so bad? It's because you were explaining that I don't think they caught. You know, these days you put out 3,000-4,000 prints.
One of the reasons that these old prints, like the prints of these you see in the theaters would look so bad, is now you come out with a film and 3,000 theaters in one big go, and it's a big opening weekend. But that's not how they did it with the exploitation films. They made like maybe 10. If you were lucky, they made 10, and they would take it from city to city to city. So it would take an entire year for it to kind of go all around America. So, hey, if you were in New York that first week and it was the first engagement, yeah, you got good-looking shit, all right? But after like 30 states, after playing in the worst theaters you could possibly play, they were like beat-up pieces of shit. And we love that.
Before I ask another question, we're going to go ahead and bring out some of Quentin's cast for his upcoming movie.
Yes, I've got some of my cast. Now, the thing is, you could tell Roberts was a zombie movie. Okay, mine is a slasher film. All right? But a slasher film at 200 miles an hour. And it's called Death Proof. And I've got some very lovely ladies who are in danger in this film. All right? One of them is said Rose McGowan, who is here, who's also in mine. Another is said Marley Shelton, who is also in mine. Also coming out of the wings, Rosario Dawson. Next coming out is the character of Jungle Julia, played by Sidney Poitier. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And also in the film, playing herself, is a very famous stunt woman. She was Xena for 3 years on Cine. She doubled for Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. And she was the star of the documentary Double Dare. She'll be starring in Death Proof, playing herself, Miss Zoe Bell. Doing her own stunts in the movie, by the way.
Let's have another question. We got a bunch of answers stacking up here.
Great.
Yeah, this question is for Quentin and Robert. How did you guys meet exactly?
We met like this on a panel at a film festival about, what, 14 years ago?
Yeah, Toronto Film Festival.
92?
Yeah, 92.
We
yeah.
had to, yeah.
You were there for El Mariachi and I was there with Reservoir Dogs. So then we bump into each other in this like a convention center lobby kind of thing. And proceeded to talk, like, blah, 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 finishing each other's sentences for about 45 minutes until we actually had to be yanked away to another interview. And I go, wow, that guy's really cool. And I actually thought that was just how Robert was. And then like years later, we see this making of 4 Rooms and his wife is talking. Yes, he met Quentin and Robert is kind of shy and he's kind of reserved and he doesn't really talk to people like that. And you're like, really? I thought he was that way with everybody.
No, only with this guy, But then, after that, it turned out we ended up having offices next to each other back at Columbia. At the studios, because you were writing Pulp Fiction for...
And you were doing Desperado,
I was writing Desperado.
He was one of the first person to read Pulp Fiction.
He used to come out, read scenes to me, and act things out. And so that's how it still is. He'd stuff from his movie from Planet Terror, I would read him stuff, and he would read me stuff from Death Proof. And that's kind of how we started collaborating and have continued to do so. I'll take a couple more questions.
Mr. Rodriguez, I read your book and stuff like that, read it in film school. And all these guys are running around with camcorders, having fun. I was wondering if you could tell us, like, how we can make our movies a little bit better. I know you see a lot of student films and stuff like that all the time. And what's the next step after that, becoming a better storyteller?
What's the next? Keep working on them. I mean, really, practice. You just keep practicing. I mean, I made a lot of movies before I made El Mariachi. They're all short subject, but at least I got, you got to get the hang of it. You got a lot of editing software now. It's just free on the computers. You can just keep practicing your craft, and just keep at it.
Yeah, if you got the passion to do it, and you do it, and it doesn't like work out. I got 3 years on a 16mm film that ended up becoming nothing but guitar picks, and I was very disappointed when I realized it wasn't any good. But it was my film school, all right, and I actually got away really cheap. When it was all over, I knew how to make a movie. And I didn't want to show anybody that, but I had the experience. I had it a lot cheaper than I would have gone if I'd gone to film school. And who knows? If you're me, you make a piece of crap, all right, and you learn. If you're Robert, you fucking make El Mariachi, and it plays all around the fucking world.
That's the other, do it in Spanish, and subtitle it, and they'll think it's an art film. That's the other advice. It worked for me. As exploitation as it could get, but I remember when it played at Telluride, all these old people come out of the Telluride Film Festival, and they were like, it was like an opera. It's like, what? It's a guy with a guitar case full of guns. As you can see, with Rose's leg, things haven't changed much since my first movie. Still doing the same kind of thing. Next question.
Just wondering what you guys thought about the state of independent film today, and if you think it's still possible for an up-and-coming filmmaker to go the route you guys went and still be successful.
That's a good question. I've been thinking about it. What do you
Make Reservoir Dogs.
That's a tough.
Actually, no. I'm not even being a smartass. That was a fucking kick-ass movie. All right. You make a goddamn kick-ass movie, and you can take it all over the fucking planet Earth. Not America, not fucking Los Angeles, not New York. The planet fucking Earth, and everyone will know it.
But there is a lot more competition than there was when I was, like kicking around with El Mariachi. So you got, there's just a lot more to do these days. You got a lot more competition because everybody's got a camera now and everybody can edit, and it's tough. I don't know. With the state of independent filmmaking changes, there's filmmaking changes.
But at the same time though, there's a lot more to competition, but also those crappy movies aren't competition if your fucking thing is like fucking dynamite.
There you go.
All that shit is, there's a lot of people out there doing stuff, but if, it's like waves on the fucking beach. All right, you make a piece of nitro that you throw in an audience's lap, people notice.
Good answer.
Questions for the entire panel. Digital versus film, finding the moment, which is more like stage, which can really take you to that moment the easiest.
Easiest. I don't know.
Easiest. How do you discover the moment? More in digital, or having to wait between setups and film?
Well, there's something to shoot in digital, as you've seen, when you just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Sometimes we roll for an hour without cutting, because you can just keep rolling. So you can find moments there that you might lose otherwise, but it kind of depends. I mean, I'm sure Quentin will find and has found moments. He's always shot film and has found.
It's less chronological. You find moments, but they're sort of out of order because you just keep rolling and trying things, and so it's an interesting way to work.
As an actor, which is the better medium so far?
Well, for me, it hasn't, honestly, other than being very stressed out if I feel like I'm wasting film, if I mess up a line or something's not coming together. And the first couple days on the show, I was like, if I flubbed a line or something fell in the shot, I was like, oh my God, turn off the camera, don't waste the film. And the entire crew and Robert started laughing. They're like, ha, that's old school.
It'd be like, because we say, still rolling, and she'd be like, oh, no, go ahead and cut, because I got it. No, it's okay, it's still rolling. It takes longer to turn the tape off than to keep it rolling.
And Quentin's thoughts?
My only time I've ever shot digital was on the scene I did for Sin City. Your exact question, kind of finding the moment. Well, the moment's the moment. It doesn't matter if you're doing it on stage or if you're doing it on digital or on film. It's that moment you're talking about when the actors actually click into their character and magic happens. Fuck the recording device. It's about the magic. Whatever captures the magic, and you can. All those roads lead to the same place if you're working with the right actors and you're coming from a pure place.
Thank you, guys.
Yay.
Good question. Let's have some more like that. Next question.
Do you guys have those moments where you're like, no, fuck you, that's my scene. No, I'm going to do it my way. Do you guys have that? Or like some cool stories you can share?
The thing is, I'm almost like embarrassed about the fact that we don't at all. Like, it's going to sound like some bullshit. Oh, yeah, we got to say that or whatever. It's like that doesn't exist at all. And part of the reason is because, he's so fucking talented, he's gonna get like jealous of me, and I'm so fucking talented, I'm gonna get jealous of him, all right? It's like, we're fucking badass, man, and we actually think alike. And we have different ways of going about shit and everything, but it's like, the thing is, I'm gonna start mine coming up, but I've been working on Robert's. And just kind of working on it and just hanging out and doing things and operating the camera every once in a while. And, if I got something to say, hey, Robert, what do you think about that? Oh, go tell him, And it's like, it's all cool. And he totally does the same thing with mine. Well, we've traded scenes back and forth. It's a complete open house.
Next question.
Mr. Tarantino, are you ever going to make a family movie for kids?
That would be so fucking cool, actually.
The thing is, actually, I really like kids' movies, all right? Now, it would never probably be like any kids' movie you've ever seen before, all right? I'd let my kids watch it. But I actually, not only would I like to make a family, I wouldn't say a family film, I'd say a kids' film. I would love to make a kids' film because I'm actually proud that adults actually respond to my movies the way kids respond to movies that they like. I used to work at a video store where the kids would come in and they'd want to see the same fucking film, all right, every week, all right? And the parents would get so mad at them and like, would you just get something else? And I'm like, well, they like that, all right? Why try on something else that they might not like? They know they're going to like this. So I kind of understand. I mean, I love that kind of audience. So, like I said, might be not like a kids movie you'd normally expect. This is like way, Kill Bill's a romantic film that you might not normally expect, but it was one. True Romance was not an ironic title. That's a real title. But maybe someday.
Okay. My question is for the ladies.
Yeah.
Were you all given the choice to pick a stunt double, or did you all just do the free stunts of your own free will, or?
I think Zoe needs to talk about this question.
Yeah, Zoe, this is a Zoe question. The stunt woman, all right, needs to. So Zoe, do you want a stunt double?
No, fuck no. I guess in this movie, in Quentin's movie, I'm my own stunt double. or my own acting double, depends on which way you look at it really, but I'm usually a stunt double, and I love being a stunt double. That part, strangely enough, flying around on cars and stuff doesn't make me nervous at all. It's this thing, the talking part, that's a little bit, I'm feeling a little self-conscious right now.
Yeah, Uma is Zoe's acting double.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of asking her if she'd be my stand-in on Death Proof.
I remember Quentin said originally, he goes, I think we need to shoot those, maybe we should do the stunt scenes up front, just in case, knock on wood, something happens to Zoe. I don't think it's scheduled like that anymore.
No, it's not scheduled like that. But actually, one of the funny things about it was, I told the stunt coordinator, I go, look, we're going to have Zoe do this gnarly shit, but you can't hurt my Zoe. You can't hurt her. I love her. You can't hurt my Zoe. And so he took that to mean maybe I wanted to get a stunt double for her. And then I heard it, and I went back to him, I go, I mean, try not to hurt my Zoe. Best efforts, mate. Best efforts.
Next question.
You're two of the most musical directors of all time. Do you listen to music when you write and you're in the car? How is it part of your life?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I do when I'm writing, when I just even come up with an idea for what I want to do in a film, is I have a record room at my house and nothing but vinyl. And what I do is I go in there and I dive into that record room and I just start listening to music and playing music. And to me, that's me finding the beat of my movie, the rhythm of my movie. Once I actually find the song that's going to be the opening credit sequence and everything, that's like, I might actually make this movie now. And so that's me finding the rhythm and the beat of it.
Sometimes I'll write a piece when I'm thinking about a script and starting to write it. I'll have a few characters, or like the music that you heard playing throughout the trailer was something I wrote last year for Grindhouse. And it sounded like just like a Grindhouse dance. That's why I ended up making the character a dancer. So the opening titles would have a dance sequence, and it sounded kind of, grindy, and it seemed like it summed everything up for the movie.
For the actresses, Robert and Quentin have such unique filmmaking styles. They're such unique directors. What was the most surprising thing working with them over other directors? What that you found during the shooting?
Working with Robert, and even just watching Quentin on set on Sin City and coming and talking to him, and in the rehearsal process alone, there's just so much passion and interest and excitement about being storytellers and creators, which you'd just be so surprised how many sets you walk on. There's no rehearsal, there's no talking about the story, there's no shot list. Like, there's really just people going in there and just kind of like going through the motions. And what's really amazing is that I feel like I'm working with people who are challenging and themselves, as well as their audience and the people that they're working with, to really show up and do something really amazing. Because you're going to make it forever, and you're going to be showing it to people, and you should care that much. It shouldn't just be about the money. It should be about the stories and leaving a good legacy behind, and that's what these guys are doing, and I'm excited to be able to do that with them.
No, that's a good answer. Glad we heard you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big, warm thank you to
Thanks for
coming out, everybody. And all you guys way in the back, too, man.
Hey, all you guys there in the back.
You guys are the ones that really rock in the fucking back.
Hope to see you out there. Some cool posters we're giving away and all that kind of stuff. Thank you. See you next year at the Grindhouse.